Yo guys, what's up? It's most likely Thursday. We're back on stream. How's it going? Someone's already being a dick about the music. Just have to live with it, man. That's it. I value your feedback about that much at this point. So Brett, Brom, Viking, Des, how you folks doing? Like I said, we're back. We're painting the Wraith Lord a little bit more. Today we're going to focus on his loincloth, for want of a better phrase. We're still going to continue the red on red, but we are going to tint this a little bit further towards the darker purples. So we're going to carry on using some glazes of Screamer Pink to achieve that. We'll build up some highlights with that Evil Sun Scarlet, or we might use that newer red colour, the Khador Red base, that we've now decanted into one of these. Then, because clearly the insanity has just got to me, we're going to paint one of the Eldar Samhan snakes. Samhan icon? Let's search for that. How the fuck you spell icon? Complicated word. I'm going to paint that in white over the red with some black slashes in the background behind it. God damn, it's going to be such a bastard to paint. Crown Blade! Mildly entertained. That's good. That's good. Oh, you mean icon? Oh, that's Twisted Helix one looks really fucking sick. Let's just flick over to a different screen. I've just seen this one, the two snakes intertwined. It does look really cool, but nah, it's not the traditional Samhan one. This is kind of what we're going for. This. We're even going to put the photo bucket banner in there. Why not? But basically that is what that's the tiniest image in the world. Ugh. That is a 1 out of 5 snake. This one's on somebody's jumper. Either that or it's just 8 pixels. There we go. That's basically what we're going to paint, but just without the watermark in front of it. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. 9 months. Oh, have you just resub? I haven't got an alert. Damn. Did I want much cooler? Yes, but also going to take 8 years. So to start off, like we did a little bit last time, with some of this Screamer Pink. Now I'm going to glaze this onto the cloth, and I may even darken it a little bit. There we go. There's that sub alert. Des, #1 mod. 9 months, baby. What a beast. Absolute beast. So as before, we're going to thin this down to a glaze. So, got a load of water. Going to add a tiny bit of paint to it. And then we're going to glaze this all over. And we're looking to just tint the surface. So we're looking to change the colour, the hue a little bit with this glaze. That's its purpose. We're then going to mix a little of this glazing with some purple. We've got some Nagaroth Night just off camera right now. And we're going to use that to just get into the recesses a little bit more. I want to retain the fact that this is still red, because that's how the Samhan colour scheme is. That's what Fish has asked for. But dude, just the one I'm going to put on here will aggro Fish every time he looks at it. Like, there's no way he's going to get an entire unit of like Wraithguard or whatever the little versions of this is, and do all this freehand shit on there. There's no way I should, to be honest, but it is what it is. Ring Sting and the Johnsonator. How you guys doing? Right, quick hairdryer moment on that. Doing good? Awesome, man. Let's give it one more go. And you see we're building that pinky purple colour into this. And then once we've allowed this one a little time to dry, we're going to essentially do a little bit of wet blending. And that's where the purple's going to come in. And the purple is just for the recesses, the darkest recesses. So I'm going to give that a moment. Lord Wedge, what up? Shimo! There you go, get that YouTube link going on. So because of the lack of cool music anymore, and again, I fully support and understand why the companies involved are doing it. It's their intellectual property. You know, they own the rights to that shit. So there's no hard feelings, there's no animosity. It was just one of those things that we got to take advantage of while we could. But because of that, I figured, well, now I don't have to worry about the music being muted and stuff like that. I could just upload all of the broadcasts we do to YouTube. Which means if there's ever something that we do on stream that someone's like, oh, how'd you do this? And you say, well, we did a stream on that 5-6 months ago. Off you go. We could even get some links in to the previous work that we've done and have like a little library, like a living record of what we've painted and essentially how, which I think would be super cool. So there is a silver lining in all this. I found a load of music that I kind of liked that was nothing, I mean, you know, none of it's amazing. We could be listening to the Foo Fighters right now if it was last week. But instead, we've got this. And it's not bad. It's fine. Right. Wet blending. Chuck down a load of one colour. And then whilst it's wet, got to keep it moist. Don't spit on it. That's for something else entirely. Just start painting in the other colour. Remember, like we said last stream, always keep your brush lines in a nice straight pass all the way through the mini. Let's get on fire and get an epic intro animation for your YouTube vids. Well, sir. Well, sir. Orders. Where's the thing? Manage requests. Just there. Done that. We're looking for not only an intro video we can use for the stream and for YouTube, but a new set of panels, because this one that's just like the Hazard Stripe banner that took me literally about half an hour in GIMP. I'm genuinely not kidding. It took me fucking forever to do the layout on stream in GIMP. Especially those little bastards down there, the little tags. No. So much pain in the ass. So we finally got somebody, a professional, to do it. We're waiting on people to get back in touch with me. Because most of the stuff that I saw on Fiverr was very much a case of, here's something I've done for some kid who wants to be the next insert esports person here. And that's great, but that's not me. Not by far. Mais Pinak? Maybe? Eldar mechs are super cool. I love them. They are some of the coolest giant robots that aren't Imperial Knights, that's for sure. So again, we're going to glaze on some of that Screamer Pink. And then whilst that's still wet, I'm going to grab some of that Nagaroth Knight that we've got. And then just paint this into the recesses. So this is wet blending. This is 2 coats of paint. When you're working them and they're both wet. You can do this with obviously dry and retarder, anything along those sorts of lines, just to really get a nice smooth blend between them. Don't, as Mikey, just make you cut everything. No need. Since my previous works and weathered them, don't have to pick them all together. Behold what I've done so far, my Dark Ages Army repaint. I'll tell you what, Wedge, put that in a Discord whip. We will get to that later on. 100%. We'll get to that later on. But yeah, waiting on good artists to get back to me on Fiverr. Despite me saying I've got a logo, I don't need a logo. I've had a logo, which is my business logo, 4 years. Everyone keeps sending me shots of, oh, here's some logos that I've done. Like, that's good for you, dude. Good for you. Voodoo Yaz! What up, player? Chaos Knights are cool. Cooler is a stretch. Just call me Miles. His nickname is from Polish Books. Okay. Miles is good. Thank you very much, man. Right. Gonna dry that off again. Then we're gonna build some highlights up. Moving back towards the red, but still trying to keep a lot of that contrast in there. We do want this to look markedly different from the rest of the mini. It needs to stand out a little bit. Okay, and now you can see we've got that definite pinkish purple in there, which is the same as what we've got on the box art behind me. Got a little gloss down here at the bottom. All of that will just fade out when we give this a good coating of matte varnish. Funny little white stuff, Jay. It did come with lube. I giggled. Good lad. Good lad. Have you used it yet? Not the lube, the ayahuasca. You probably already used all of the lube. Some of it might have gone on the airbrush. So I made bread. Well, I didn't make bread. I started making sourdough bread this evening. It takes like 2 days to make because you've got to do an overnight prove twice. All right. One of the steps you take when kneading the very, very wet at that point dough is you're going to hold it in a bowl and then you scoop with your hand, lift the bread, stretch it and drop it. And you sort of do that in a circular motion. And it makes a noise that is immediately recognizable to anyone that's ever had sex. And my housemate, it's the first time he's heard this happen, came downstairs as I was doing that, and he walked very sheepishly into the kitchen. He was like, am I going to see something I don't want to see? Like, Jay, what's that noise? Whew. Did you give the artist example videos of what you might like? No, I told them loads about what I do. I showed them pictures of the stream, so they had plenty of examples to go off of. But essentially, they have free reign. I've given them a lot of lists of things that I'd like, but no pictorial examples, as I don't have any. So we've got some red, which is that new Kador red base. We've got this mixed down to a pretty glazy consistency. I'm going to start building this up on the mini. Now, to begin with, obviously, it's going to look pretty gash until it dries down. Obviously, wet paint always looks a little bit more in your face, essentially, than its drier version. Just trying to get a little light colour shift back into the red, keeping those recesses nice and dark though. So glazing, we can talk a little bit about glazing. Glazing is literally just the art of making paint very, very thin, not to the point of collapse. So when you end up with separation from the paint pigment and the medium itself, still want to keep them moving together. It's less to function as paint. But it needs to be super thin. So thin that you're going to need like maybe 10 coats to get a solid opacity. Kind of a stencil your logo, then airbrush it on a black background for the intro. That would be cool. Windy Massive, what up, dude? I'm doing well, mate. How are you? Wow, I already had 16 offers on this order. Hopefully, by the time I get a chance to look at it tomorrow, we'll have some stuff we can start looking at. This is cool. Rocky! How you doing, man? Alright, keep glazing this in. And this, by the way, guys, is how you get a set of transitions if you don't have an airbrush setup. So if you really like that kind of smooth gradient highlight, this is the way to do it. It takes forever. You've got a lot of glazing to do. You've got many, many, many passes with a brush to do, which is obviously slower than using an airbrush. However, let's be fair now. It's going to look pretty cool. And if you don't have an airbrush, it's well worth the effort. Alternatively, don't buy toy soldiers, save your pennies, buy an airbrush. Now, another thing to note is that you don't necessarily need a hairdryer. Obviously, you can let it all dry itself down. But I like to stay busy. I like to always be working when I'm painting. Speaking of working when I'm painting, we're going to be doing a lot of that next weekend. A hell of a lot of that next weekend. Next weekend, I am painting an entire Nurgle Demon army, and like a bell end, I've just bought more. You see, Crownblade, it's not heresy, it's the Imperial truth. If you buy an airbrush, all your toy soldiers become very quickly painted toy soldiers afterwards. So last night, I got about 4 hours sleep. Why is it? This has been a thing recently, because I think we did this last Thursday as well. Why is it that Wednesdays, it appears that I cannot fucking sleep at all, and Thursdays, it appears, is the day when we're going to do a fuckload of freehand? On no sleep. But you'd have more painted toy soldiers, and that's the payoff. There are reasons, Crownblade. You know, you just got to accept these facts. This is the Imperial truth. So you see, it's just a case of keep painting red in very thin layers until you get a nice smooth freehand Thursday. Clearly. Yep. I think your pile of shame, like most wargamers, will outlive the wargamer. You will be eternally shamed. Brett sat there going, you can tell everyone you want to not buy toy soldiers as long as they don't come into my store. And then you can't tell them not to buy toy soldiers. Hashtag corporate show. Need more great and clean ones for the thrice-fold befoulment warscroll. I don't even know what the fucking hell that is. That's a Sigmar thing. Airbrush is a great tool. Airbrush is absolutely one of the best things that you could buy as far as I'm concerned. But I am quite definitely a painter that likes to airbrush. I know loads of people that don't. They hate it. I know loads of award-winning painters that don't use airbrushes. It's not... You don't need to use an airbrush. But... Oh, dude, I was talking about, like, telling people to stop buying toy soldiers. Not anything to do with Forge World. Alright. So we're pretty much there now with our red. Now it's a pretty stonking red. Very bright. Fades into the background quite nicely. It's alright, dude. Next, we're going to do some actual edge highlights with it. So let's grab a little bit of yellow. Why not? Because we're nearly out. Okay, that's why not. We need this to be... Yeah, yellow's going to be fine. It will be fine. We're just thinking, can we use yellow because we've used purple in the recesses? This is, as a result of me being so tired, of course we can definitely use yellow because we've got purple in the recesses. It's going to help our highlights really, really pop out. What is the name of these figures, sir? I'm new to the channel. That's okay, mate. This is an Eldar Wraithlord from the Warhammer 40,000 game. It's basically a race of elves in space. And a Wraithlord, which is super cool. This is a really, really interesting and fun sort of bit of lore, a bit of story about them. All of the bits we painted red and this white bit is all a psychically attuned bone, essentially, that's grown by the Eldar on their massive ships. And all the little blue stones are spirit stones, and they contain the souls of fallen warriors. That's what is powering this walking weapon. Super cool. Right, so we're starting off with some actual brushed highlights now on this. We're going to keep these very skinny to begin with. Just looking for an extra bit of brightness on this. And this orange, the purple, it's going to clash. It's going to give us a great sense of contrast. Can I get a link to buy them, mate? I'd love to read about them. They look brilliant. Type in !element. If you live in the UK or in Europe, they will ship to you. It's not like they're not the company that makes them; they're just a company that sells them. And full disclosure, it is a affiliate link. If you want to know more about the sort of story, most of the best resources aren't even actually Games Workshop. Most of the best resources are just like lexiconum on the internet, so things that like fan fiction and stuff like that. How do you keep yourself motivated when you have to paint boring models? You don't think about it, you just fucking paint the model. It's that simple, mate. There are times when you absolutely can't do that. I had one of those moments last night. I just took the night off. But I won't allow myself to do that again for the next several weeks. If I get to a point where like, I don't want to do this anymore with a model, then you just have to get on with it. I'm still painting these ghost arcs, and there is so much edge highlighting on them that it is unfun. So they're boring to paint. They're not great. They're a pain in the ass as well as being boring to paint, because you've got to get angles that are tricky to get to. But you just have to tell yourself to shut up and just do it. Like a lot of things in life, frankly. Right. But unlike a regular hobbyist, I do it as a job. Yeah, it's a part-time, well, it's a full-time job, but it's not my only source of income. That's probably the best way to phrase it. So I've got no choice. I've also got deadlines to meet for it. You know, you're asking clients to stick with you on your timescales for things like payment and stuff like that. You've got to stick to the timescales you promised them for getting the mini done. And obviously, sometimes things go out of control. The custodes, which took 6 months, that should have taken 3. That was mostly because I lost any and all weekends that I could have been painting them because of my office job. Right, now what we're doing is we're glazing in the same highlight colour we just used. So all I've done is take the highlight colour, add a load of water to it to thin it down. Now we're glazing that in to thicken out those highlights. So now we've got that purple, pink, through red into orange, it now is going to stand out quite a lot more from the model than it did earlier on. And that was the entire point of what we've just done. And most of this, you're not really even going to notice or see, because what we're about to paint now is a white snake on it. Close your eyes and think of England. You could do. You could definitely do that. Ring Sting! Getting that sub. Twitch Prime sub as well, man. Nice. Thank you very much, dude. You're going to be eligible for about a dozen giveaways next weekend. Wait, did I say a dozen giveaways next weekend? Can't have said that. That would be crazy. Talk about a pal about a chance to... Hey, it's alright, dude. So if you're looking for this particular mini, and you're on the Element website, I'm assuming you live somewhere they ship to, so you're sort of UK or Europe based at least, right? Also, don't worry about it, sir. Just J is fine. Or Mohawk. We respond to most things like that. Cool. So, if you go to the Element web store, and this is exactly the mini that you want to buy, let's bring it up here on the screen. This is how bad things are. All right, these are my most used links: Amazon, Twitch, YouTube, Netflix, WhatsApp, and then Warhammer Community, Element Games, Games Workshop, and a movie streaming site. Dear oh dear, Blacklist Season 7, man. So you're on the Element Games website, Horror Games Workshop, 40k, and you're looking for Craft Worlds, just here. And then it'll be somewhere in here. Let's see, this is probably a heavy support. Heavy support. Craft Worlds Wraithlord. This is the one. Just here. And we're kind of painting it in the same manner as... Oh shit, we got to do the black stripes on this as well, haven't we? Cool, got that left to do as well. But there you go. That's where to find it. Here, watching Jay gets you meeps, which in turn increase your painting skill by 0.0001% for each meep. Then Rocky is on a tear. That's all I got on that one. Right, so that's about as far as we're going to highlight up this to the orange, the yellow side of things. Let's grab some black paint. Let's paint some stripes. How many stripes should we do? How many stripes did they do on the box? That's so not useful. The hover over to make larger button doesn't really make larger. They've done 3. 1 thick one and 2 thin ones. So that's what we're going to do as well. So, black paint. I want some flow improver. You said do 2? No, we're going to do 3, man. 2 little ones and a big one. Going to need some steady hand juice. I'm not saying the tip to painting freehand is, we'll say, apple juice of a Tennessee variety. But it fucking helps. Oh, we could do black ink. No, that dries really glossy. This could be a bitch to paint the white over. So let's just do good old acrylics. Okay. So need to work out where we're going to paint this without the aid of tape this time. So we want a snake that runs from about here to about here. So we're looking at in line with the top of that knee for the top of the snake. Sharpie, you can fuck off. And it'll finish at about the bottom of that kneecap bit. So we've got probably about 3/4 of an inch. Ish. We want our black lines to start both above and finish below on the bottom one. So in that case we're looking at a line about here. Stuff and things is happening. Game time with the follow. Thank you, dude. That'll be the thin line, so we'll do that for about that kind of width. Then we'll leave a gap. We've got a thicker line, which will be that kind of width. And then the same gap again, so that puts us about here for our next thin line. So we're just getting some dots. We're working out roughly where this is going to go for now. If we do a relatively sharp angle, that means the bottom one there will finish at about here, which is kind of where we wanted it to be. So we've got our thin line. It's going to be there. Tiny bit more pigment, slightly less flow and proof would be ideal, I think. So we've got a thin line there. Same gap. A thicker line. And then another gap. And that thin line again. What we got to do now is join the dots. Simple, right? Got to do it in a dead straight line. Sort of. A mostly straight line. Because if it's going over bits of cloth, you can kind of be forgiven. Oh, that's really off, isn't it? Shit. Alright, that's going to have to be fixed by glazing shit in. Or is it? We'll see. We'll see once we've done the design. Greg, it is afternoon. Barely. Alright. Let's block this in. This one ended up slightly thicker than intended, but it's okay. We can come back in with more of our reds, purples, pinks, oranges, etc. and sort that out. There we go. One of those days, Drew, trust me, I know all about it. Where'd you end up getting music from? YouTube. So I just searched YouTube and found a lot. Well, you can't see some of the screen, but this guy, Techno Axe, sorry, has produced a load of decent music. All of it sounds at least okay for background music, I think. And I just put together a playlist on YouTube. That's all. No great mystery. Okay, we really have fucked that a little bit. So we're gonna have to repaint the bit where we marked out at the side, because that's the line we're going to use. So things that we could have done to avoid messing this up as badly as we have done would be, could have used some tape. Could have just got some Tamiya tape, cut it to fit, popped it in there, and off we go. But part of Freehand is about fixing the mistakes that you've made. And we've got a load of stuff to put down on top of this. And with the white, we're almost certainly going to make a mistake. That's just gonna happen. It's nigh on inevitable. I am inevitable. Epic film. Epic film. Proper tearjerker. So, just blocking these in. These are going to need several coats. I'm going to need a quick highlight on them as well. There are no mistakes, Jay. Only happy little accident. My dad always told me that. Awkward. Right, here we go. So, we know you haven't got straight lines just yet. That's still to come. We need to tidy this up before we do anything else. So first step to freehand is get more than 4 hours sleep. I'd say that's probably a must. And I think we'd have been much better off using the acrylic ink. Again, like we did on the helmet, but wanted to give this a go. Freehand is still relatively new to me. And whilst all we're doing at the moment is painting lines, shit's going to get a lot more complicated in a minute. So right now I'd ask for people to start queuing up things like white snakes, things are about to paint a white snake. But hey, that is Bob Ross. I can see it, same haircut. Yeah, because I took the haircut here. You know, we've got the afro on the face rather than on the head. So. I've had my hair spiked since I was 16 in some way, shape or form, right? My hair has been vertical. And that's now more than 20 years ago. So my hair now grows directly outwards from my head. So this just grows outwards. I have a proper fro if I don't keep this under control. It's not ideal. Back before I had the mohawk, I had hair very much like Wolverine's, I guess you could say. And as soon as you get out of the shower, you know, you sort of dry your hair with a towel, and it looks like you've been touching a Van de Graaff generator. Then you've got to get your product on and sort that shit out quick before anyone sees you. Right. So we're going to go with 2 thin lines and a thick line, but instead we've ended up with 3 pretty equally sized lines. Still need a little bit of tidying up. This top one especially could do with another coat or so, just to even out some of the bottom part of it. You can't count. I said 16. And then that was more than 20 years ago. Not, oh yeah, since I was 26. Right. So, we could highlight these with grey, but all of the weapons and stuff had the same kind of... Dude, like I said, 4 hours sleep, alright? There's a lot of whoosh that's going to happen tonight. Everything else on the model has been highlighted with the mix-up of Sotek blue and that green. I reckon we're going to do the same on here, but we're going to keep it probably really subtle. So let's grab some Sotek green, which is blue, but it's apparently green. Brett, they didn't make up their mind very well with this paint. Is this like one of those like white dress, pink dress things, or whatever the fucking thing was? Does anyone remember that? Like, some people apparently saw the dress as one colour, everybody else that was a normal person saw it as the real colour. Using it now, best colour ever. Blue and gold, that was it. So we thin this down again, we're working kind of glazy. It's all good. We're going to hit the sides, any part of the cloth that's got a recess that curves out towards us. So there's obviously going to be a section just here. Well, that's going to be the case. I'm going to work back and forth, try and get these little highlights towards the center. Same here. So we're basically looking for the bumps in the fabric. So where the fabric has come out from the Mini. Right. Whilst we're doing some relatively boring bits of freehand and boring bits of highlighting, exclamation point YouTube in the chat if somebody could. You'll get a link, which is a little link shortening bit.ly link. I set up a YouTube channel today, and for now all it's going to be used for is to hold the stream. So we're going to do the stream here on Twitch, same as always. We're then going to upload every stream we have to the YouTube channel, which means that if, for instance, somebody wanted to know how to glaze cloth for some of what we've done today, we say, hey, look, we did this show, here's a link to it, off you go. And that's the purpose of the YouTube channel currently. Now, ideally, if we can get to a point where Twitch supports me for a little bit more than it does, essentially, if Twitch pays the rent, I'm going to use the YouTube channel, take an extra day of the week off of work, so lower my hours at my day job, and start creating content specifically for YouTube. So we'll do tutorials, might do full paints, you know, so start to finish, here's how we painted a whatever model, and so on, right? Greg, superstar, thank you very much. That sort of thing. So that's the plan. But for now, seeing as we've got to go with royalty-free music currently, I figured it ain't going to hurt to start getting that all up on the tubes of you. Alright, there's those highlights coming in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a lot of flow improver. I'm going to really thin this down just to glaze out and feather out some of the edges. The reason I'm using flow improver here rather than water, does Twitch Prime count towards the comp? Oh, for like win the mini. Yeah, totally, man. As long as you're a subscriber, it's all good. But you need to obviously subscribe with Twitch Prime rather than just have Twitch Prime. Somebody else has made that mistake before, so I thought I'd just clarify just in case. But the reason we're using flow improver rather than water is just I want to keep a little bit more control on what's going on. We're using the flow improver to try and remove some of the pigment saturation. Grambo! Thank you for that follow. Now's a good time to do Marine and Necrons tutorials, brother. Day of release. The day that the new 40k hashtag don't cut your mats gets released, we're doing a weekend's worth of streaming. Prior to that day, so after this weekend, this is kind of important, I suppose. After this weekend, when we know what's in the box, what's in the box? When we know, we're going to have two polls. One will be for the Marine units, one will be for the Necron units. The point of those polls will be thus. You will be able to vote on which mini from each faction I should paint. On that weekend release, ideally I'll have got that the day before, hopefully from my local game store. That Friday night, I would assemble, clean down, undercoat both those minis. Saturday, we start painting. We're going to paint all day Saturday, we're going to paint all day Sunday. At the end of Sunday stream, we're going to give away the minis we've painted. But wait! There's more. Not only are we going to give away the Necron and the Marine, but we're going to give away the entire Necron faction with that model. The entire Marine faction with that model. There will be a raffle. It will be a buy-in, essentially, very much like the way we did the Chaos Knight, but for a lot cheaper. This is a much smaller prize, obviously. But, all painted? No. One painted mini and the rest of the kit. So you will get yourself the start of a Necron army or a Marine army with potentially a special character style general, a centerpiece model, whatever it is that they're going to put in the kit, painted for you by me. Dude, you've always got to ask, right? So we can outdo your painting. I mean, the challenge is laid down, Greg. It's all on you, brother. If you can, you can. If you can't, you'll join the many, many others that couldn't. What restrictions when you take a commission? Do you just take anything, which have rules or something? Like everything needs to be unassembled, no recast, etc. There's a lot of rules. I have painted a recast. I didn't realise it was a recast until after I painted it. Otherwise, I'd have told the guy to shove it, because I don't support that. That's completely not right. I won't tell you what it was, because then you'll know who the client was, and so on and so forth. So, if I am assembling the models for somebody, then there's a fee. If I'm not assembling the models for somebody, and they're assembling them themselves, or they're getting a friend to do it, or whatever, they must be fucking perfect. They must be in the sub-assemblies I've specified, and nothing else. No mold lines, no gaps that need filling, no, I slipped with a craft knife, none of that shit. If there's any of that, I have to correct it. It takes time, it costs some money. That simple. Right, Emerald, you're going to do one more highlight on this, and then we're starting that freehand. Because we spent about 45 minutes or so pissing about, painting a little bit of red and now a little bit of blacky blue. So yeah, there's lots of rules, man. I don't do models that need to be stripped first either. Like, if I have to take a little paint off a model to paint it for a commission, they don't care enough to have bought a new model. They don't care about the finished paintwork. I'm just not about that life. Recast only models no longer a thing from GW Forge and so on. Yeah, if it's out of production, I'm okay with it. It's probably not something that I'd end up buying. I'd probably still try and hunt down the OG versions myself. But at least that I can understand. I get why people do that. Like, if was it the Elysians all got phased out or something else? Some other 40-year-old guard shit? Like, if you're halfway through that guard army and all your toy soldiers get taken away, then yeah, I understand it. But don't steal somebody's IP, man. And this is why I support the whole the DMCA, YMCA music crackdown. I mean, I get it. We shouldn't have been playing it like that at all. Equally, their music was available on YouTube for anyone to listen to without paying a fee. So, kind of on them a bit as well, but equally. Right, snake time. Get some white paint out. Let's get up our inspirational material. Here we go. Why the fuck am I doing this? Hokely dokely. So we've got an infinity symbol to paint, which I'm guessing is something very specific to the craft world. Somebody that's an Eldar nerd here will understand. So, what do you mean by recast? Here, it's where somebody has, instead of taken a model. So let's say someone's grabbed this, right? They've then made their own molds of this model, cast it themselves, so recast, and then are selling it. And people do that a lot with Forge World stuff. And it's really bad because sometimes the recast has better quality than the original sculpt, which is unfortunately semi-common. It shouldn't be the way, but if they're coming out with something that a multi-million pound company can't do as well as some dude in his bedroom, usually in like China or Russia, then, you know, there's an issue. Right. Snake. So snake is made up of really 4 parts. Let's flick over to the other screen for a sec. Not necessarily 3D printed, man. A lot of recasts are hand cast. But then somebody's selling that rather than it being some dude in his room at home printing a thing to use for himself. It's somebody else making a business of selling those recasts. So Snake, 4 parts. We've got the head, we've got the body, we've got the tail, and then we've got those fins at the back. We need to obviously split this up. Now, the infinity symbol should be in the center of the sash. That's what it's called, a sash. Not a dick cloth, which is what I've referred to it as more than once, I think. So, center point is just down from here. So look at about here for that. I'm just marking this out with water for now. So that'd be a center point there. So we'd end up with kind of our diamondy circly bits like that. Then we'd have the snake body starting here, which is just below that knee, which is what we said we were going to do earlier on, but that's fine. We've changed the position of these lines, so that's okay. Right. I'm going to try it with white paint, and if this doesn't work so well, I'm going to get the white ink out and give that a shot. Let's do our infinity symbol. So that's the center point. The top line goes over this way. So light brush pressure. We're not even trying to get the right thickness on lines. We're just trying to trace out roughly where this is going to be. Loincloth, that's another good one. Primus Miniature Painting, thank you very much. So, looking for some nice straight lines. This bit goes under that line, so we're going to leave a gap. Line that up. And bring it back in on that side. It happened, I got 2 Repulsor Executioner. Damn, man. Alright, 90-degree angle at the bottom of this, and then we've got our center point there, which helps us choose how high that needs to be. Same here. And then that final line ends before it hits that center line. So we've roughly laid out where we go. Let's zoom the camera in so you guys can see a little bit better what we've got going on. Now let's just embolden these lines. Embiggen. We're going to embiggen them. Anyone remember that from The Simpsons? Simpsons. No, where slashes usually go over the shoulder and down across the body to your hip. Pointless information. You're absolutely correct on both counts, perhaps, but yeah. Ringsy. Oh, that's you! Damn, I totally didn't realise that was you. Awesome. Everyone, Ringsting is the guy that I'm doing my next commission for. So we've got the Doomsday Arcs to do, and then we're doing his planes. We're going to do some Orc Aeronautica Imperialis planes, done up as Japanese aircraft from one of the World Wars? Second World War, I think. So white planes, red suns on the wings. Gonna look sick. But now I know who you are. You should have said. You take it easy, man. Have a good one. Apparently that package is arriving tomorrow, by the way. With ziplanes. We've got a busy day for the postman tomorrow, that's for sure. We've got your parcel turning up with a commission in it. then last night I might have accidentally slipped and possibly accidentally, definitely bought 2 start collecting Nurgle box sets for demons on Element because I need bases for the frog people. It was an accident, alright? Leave me alone. The frog jumpy dudes from Forge World need 60mm bases. I thought they were 40 until I did some research yesterday, and it turns out they're 60. I don't know how many 60mm bases, and Games Workshop doesn't have 60mm bases in stock. But do you know what does come on 60mm bases? The Plague Fly. Brett, help me out here. The Plague Flying drone things. Plague drones. It is Plague drones. Brilliant. Chibo, you had my back. Thank you. Yeah, so they come on 60mm bases. Do you know what I'm probably not going to put in my army? Plague drones. So I've now got, with the ones that Stu is sending, 120 Plague Bearers. Come on, flying stands. In the box, they were shown as for start collecting kit anyway. Please don't be fucking wrong. This is what happens when you buy from Element at like 20 to 2 in the morning. Demons of Nurgle. So, oh, thank fuck for that. Brett, I'll fucking slap you. Right, look at the zoomed in picture. They have real bases, not the shitty plastic ones. They are on stalks, but they have normal bases as well. If not, I'm a kick off so hard because I literally bought 2 of those for the bases. The fly dudes, you see one there. We're going to take the riders to put them on the frogs because I need another 4 riders. No, 3 riders. 3 riders. And I'm going to turn those flies, all 3 of them, well, it'll be 6 of them, obviously, all 6 into 3 Nurgle Demon Princes. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. So we got some converting to do. That won't be done between now and next weekend. What will be done between now and next weekend to get us ready for the gargantuan paint an entire Nurgle Demon army in one weekend and do it yellow stream. That's right. What will be needed is alcohol, I feel, at that point, quite definitely. But also to get the Plague Toad Riders assembled, a couple of Plague Bearers assembled, and the I've forgotten what they're called. Poxbringers, the hero ones. A bath, a shower. Lots of it, so much of it. All of the booze is going to need to be done. Right, just going to tidy up this ever so slightly with a bit of the Screamer Pink that we used. But that's our infinity symbol. It's kind of close. It's not perfect, but it is close. That will do for now. And this white's working out okay. So we'll stick with it rather than using the white ink. There's a lot of flow improver in this though. And now we need to go back to our source material and have a look. So, annoyingly, the image that they've given us here, the snake extends slightly further off one side with the nose of the snake than the like the winged back bit. AGS Wargaming, thank you very much, dude. How are you? This guy is an epic, epic streamer. There's a lot of historical stuff, so definitely give him a shout out if you can, please. Improving. That's a good start. I like that. You're on the right path. So, we need to paint a line as straight as we can, which means it's going to be like a dog's hind leg right now. Oh, lovely, mate. Mine was fortunately relatively amicable. But the day I got the document come through from the solicitor with a list of reasons why your very soon-to-be ex-wife hates you was a fucking horrible day. Anzig! Thank you very much for that host, man. Yeah, I've had better days. Equally, I've had worse. And when it's all over, man, it feels good. When you get that letter come through, it's all done. It's a good day. I got that letter come through the same day. Sorry, it was the day after because I watched it on a Monday, not the Sunday in which it was aired. You said you were arrested while you was out for pizza. Damn. That's shit. That tops anything that happened in mine. Anything that happened in mine. Sorry to hear that, man. Is it because you were trying to get a pizza with pineapple on it? Because some people are touchy about that. I know it's a horrible thing to make a joke about, but I kind of had to. I'm sorry. Right, let's paint this fucking snake. So we need a straight line. This is going from just behind the eyes to the back of the wings on the tail. So again, light brush pressure, especially when you get to these sort of creases in the fabric. Can't have that going all peaked on. Now I won't paint the face just yet. What we're going to do is we're going to start blocking in everything else and come back to that so we know what dimensions we're using. Now the body starts about here. Work that down. About that far. That's going to give us plenty of room for 3, and we'll mark it on the inside, 3 separate wings. Oh, actually, no, the top one, that would be 1. So that would be 1. That would be 1. And that would be 1. I forgot that top line is already 1/2 of the marking for that wing. 1, 2, 3. Plus then some room for the body. We're actually going to go a little further. Just a top. That'll do. Which will then branch up and out into the tail. Now the tail, the outside line of the tail lines up with the face. So that's going to come all the way out and around to about here-ish. So let's start just chucking in a very light curve here. Pineapple on pizza isn't a crime. Brett, you're absolutely correct. Dan, the most notable man ever, told me the drones come at 60mm black bases. Good lad. Good lad. See, he's got my back. I miss Dan. Dan was an absolute boss. Such a beast. Like, great guy. Loads of funny stories. Good drinking buddy as well. Say hello from me. And he fucking carried you around some of a foreign city. We won't go into that story. But true friend to you there, Brett. True friend. They also warn about the fact that the flying stands are not high enough. Free nightmare. No, but I don't care. I'm not making the plague drones. We're making demon princes out of them. So that's totally fine. Right, so that's our tail. Is Fish here? He's not, is he? I don't think so. He's going to shit himself when he tries to paint this. Right, so that's what we got there. Now we need to block in the body, which is quite thick. It's a curvy snake. So that's kind of that section. And then the head starts at about the top of the second of those. Curves upwards, and now we need to start blocking in the face. But we've got a nice shape so far. I did count, I did 12. Okay, right. Do they come with like super stubby ones or something then? I don't get... on the image, they look quite squat anyway. Right, for La Face. You get a nice little bump around here where the head starts. So that just goes up. That houses the eyes. There's a really annoying crease in the cloth just where I want to get this highlight. The nose is a sort of point, and then it comes down to the mouth. So the mouth has like a recess like this. We've got a curve here as well. So that looks kind of right. It's close, certainly, but tell me if sort of... legs extend further down than the stand. Windy Massive! With a host as well. You superstar. Superstar! Legs drag over the floor or base. Okay, cool. That makes sense, mate. Considering it's a big old base as well, that's a bit of a pain. Right, what we're going to do now is we're just going to start drawing in everything else. So the first step of freehand we've done. We've drawn an outline of most of it. We've established the shape. We've got the right size. We're happy with the layout of this symbol on the Mini. Early start. Okay, man, look, you get some sleep. We'll see you again soon. Everyone, if you're not already following Windy, give this guy a follow. He's a good lad. Again, keep your paint nice and thin. I'm using Flow Improver rather than water to thin this with, because the Flow Improver acts as a drying retarder, helps stop the paint drying on the brush, which means we don't get scratchy paint lines. And we're going to need quite a lot of passes to get this blocked out and smooth. Because as you can see, whilst it was okay for drawing a line with, that looks pretty shit. So we're at 10 past 10. We've got an hour and 10 minutes or so, like, really, to get this finished in. Should be fine. Freehand's one of those things that just takes a while. You've got to be patient with it. Like I've said a few times, this is something that's a very new skill I'm trying to develop. I would normally have just slapped a transfer on this and called it done. But can't get better without trying new things and usually failing at them. Imperial Bunker! Dude, we're getting all the cool people here tonight. How you doing, brother? See, you've been streaming a lot of video games recently. Hope that's keeping you sane. Exclamation point Bunker. Get a link to their stuff. Even a battle report I did with them. My Knights versus some filthy Iron Hands. It was good. Right, when we get to here, we're going to stop before we get to the head, because we need to leave room to paint not the eye, basically. I'd rather try and leave the eye completely blank than try and sort of paint a ready pinky dot. We've still got that as an option of last resort, though. Right, on this, what we have done, which is a bit dumb, we haven't left ourselves room for the outside version of this line. So what's going to happen is that's going to come up and out, then it will level up against that one, and we'll take a different line to come down here. Now on the drawing I've got here, it's cut like a fat belly part of the tail, which I don't really like. So I'm going to try and keep the tail slightly more slender and less stylized than that. I want it to be more like a snake's tail and less like a pregnant snake's tail. Or a snake that's just eaten a gorilla or something. That's right. Snakes that can eat gorillas. What a world we live in. In the grim darkness of the 41st millennium, there's only snakes that eat gorillas. That's where everyone's packing. Everyone and their mums is packing around here. Alright, it's just a case now of drawing over everything we've done kind of several times till we've got a nice smooth white bit of paint. When you get to any join on the outside edge, you need to move with a very confident brush stroke, which is trickier than it could otherwise be. But everyone knows the Samhain symbol is the pregnant snake. Well, this one is no longer. That's right, somewhere on the base is a tiny baby white snake. Can't see it, it's just slid into one of those cracks. Right, gonna leave that for a sec, grab the hairdryer, dry it down, so we don't end up trying to scratch off some of the paint we just laid down. Because we're using the flow improver to stop the drying from happening so quickly, we need to give the model extra time to cure. We can obviously take that shortcut with the hairdryer, but do let it cool down a little bit after you've done so, otherwise you'll be painting paint onto a hot surface. It's going to change the way the paint dries. Don't need to leave it for long, just long enough. And then this is basically going to be the stream now. It's just reinforcing this white till we get to a stage where it is pretty good. Now, you could have used grey. Could have just painted all of this with a thicker grey colour and then painted over that with white. But I wanted this to be super flat. I didn't want there to be any highlight to it, and that's why we're painting it all white. Oh, Smithy! Yo, dude. PS5 reveal went on a bit longer than expected. Ah, is that what happened today? Banned from Twitch, all about snakes and cracks. I mean, I've talked about worse than that on stream, and we're still here. So, as long as I don't play any good music, we're all right. How you doing, though, Smithy? What's new with PlayStations? I haven't even touched a PlayStation since the PlayStation 2, I don't think. Did I have a PS3? Oh wait, no, I did have a PS3. I played Call of Duty on it a lot. That was kind of it. And Infamous. I played Infamous on it as well. And GTA 5. There we go. I played 3 games on the PS3. That was all I bought the bloody console for. It was Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto 5. Or 4. It might be GTA 4. Whatever. One of them was on the PlayStation 3. That's the one I played. Wade, thank you for the follow. A lot. New console, new games, lots of cool stuff. Cool. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. I'm assuming you will also end up with a PlayStation, so I hope you enjoy that too. Got to get a lot of mini painting done between now and then, though, man, because you know what's going to happen with that productivity. So for anyone that's not been about, we now no longer have song requests on, because I'd like to keep the stream from being turned off by the corporations. So, exclamation point YouTube. Go and get yourself a link to the freshest new YouTube channel. We've set one up, because now we have canned music. The stream will not be muted, so we can just upload the streams to YouTube afterwards. And they should be on within a couple of hours, I guess. But it means then that every stream we do will be on YouTube. So if we've got something that we do on stream that somebody wants a tutorial on later down the line, we can say, well, hang on a minute, we did a stream on that 3-4 months ago. Go back and watch the stream, and that'll be a full example of what it is you needed to know. Tricky line, this one. We got there eventually. So I don't think the music's too bad. I quite like this. Simply want to work out what some of the genres of music are. I'd never heard of metalcore, for instance. Fight the Power, they have more money than I do. And they have better lawyers than I do. And they have actually just like a lawyer, which I don't. So therefore, seeing as I know I'm in the wrong, I'm going to give up this fight. What's happening with music exactly? I started using Spotify streams, you know you pay for it. I don't use Spotify. I use YouTube. And also, you pay with Spotify for the ability to listen to music hosted on Spotify. You don't pay for the ability to broadcast music on Spotify to an international audience. And they are well within their T's and C's of stopping that dead. No, the Twitch stuff is going to go up on YouTube as it is. So you'll just be able to watch the stream, essentially. Which means obviously the chat won't be there. So if you're watching this on YouTube and you can't see the chat, the reason I'm saying this is because Chimo asked this question. You're welcome. So the chat will be missing. But it is what it is. All of the explanation is going to be there. All the banter you didn't want in the first place. It's going to be there. All of the usually grisly and nightmarish stories of my past are going to be there. I can hide under a towel like nobody's business, man. And for those of you watching on YouTube that didn't understand that, you should have watched last night's stream. That's it. You came to the party too late. It's on you. That boat has sailed. It's gone. It shall not return. We're still just painting white. Looking pretty okay on camera. Apart from the one bit where I've just really fucked up. Which I'm going to fix immediately because it's annoying the shit out of me already. Which is this bit right here. So there's nothing that's unfixable. It's only a toy soldier. JC, yes you are. All those nights, man. I'm doing well. How are you? That was a hell of an army, man. Crazy, crazy amount of nights. Are you a member of the oh god, there's some night owners club or something near Nottingham? Obviously I'm not, based on that very, very bad explanation of it. Oh yeah, I had exams then. What happened? Well, you missed it, man. I'd say go back and watch the VOD, but I took literally everything down. There was nothing left in the channel. All the clips are gone. All the previous VODs gone. Lock, stock, the lot. Chimo, I don't want to edit because editing takes a fuckload of time. Don't know if anybody here has ever edited anything to try and get a load of raw data, a load of raw content into a finished product. Long. So long. I did a little bit in uni. I did a little bit when I used to do StarCraft commentary for YouTube many, many years ago, about 10 years ago. And fucking hell, you put out a video that's half an hour long, it's probably taken you a good 3 to 4 hours to produce that video and edit it down. Get your cuts right, get your scene snips right, all that sort of shit. Oh, dude, thank you for the follow. Like, that's a long process, which is why the only reason I'm going to start producing content directly for YouTube is when I can afford to take one day out of the office a week. Because it's going to take me that day to both film, edit, and upload that video. I've got no issues listening to myself. I listened to a load of the clips from earlier today. Done a massive nostalgia trip about some of that. Oh, dude, thank you for the host as well. And Victor Von Champ. That's a cool name. That's a very cool name. Thank you. Right, nearly there. Just going to try and paint the face. I'm going to try and paint it around the eye. So I want the eye... God, it's a really small eye. If I'm honest, I might just fuck it and paint it pink at the dot in a minute anyway. Can I ask you a question? Aside from that one, no. Of course, dude. Ask away. Please do. Right, just paint all the face in white. Because I want to see if I've got the face looking right. There you go, block that in. Not terrible. This has got more of a snake's mouth, whereas on there it's got more of like this weird hole cut around the chin area, jawline. Don't like that. Zen, what up, man? I'm painting my Onager and having trouble with the yellow and black banded wires. And he says, these are the wires with like the hazard stripes on. That sort of thing. Because as you can see, I'm a bit of a fan of hazard stripes. Hell for install a night keyword, dude. It's all good. Don't you worry. Yeah, okay, so I've painted a load of hazard stripes because they're the coolest thing in 40k. They just are. Which means I've painted a load of wires covered in hazard stripes because if you're going to paint cables, why not make it interesting and have the hazards? And the best way I've found to paint them is to start with a yellow. So you can undercoat it with like a very light tan or ochre colour. That works quite well. All of the knights that you'll see down here with the yellow and black hazard stripes, ochre was the base coat for all of the yellows in that. So get that down. Work up to a very bright yellow. I like to work up using Flash Kit's yellow. It's from Games Workshop. It's a beautiful yellow colour. This is going to be... Are you still there? Yes, I'm still there. Fuck. That's the new danger of the stream. When we start running out of sound, I have to press a button on the YouTubes. Shit. Alright. It's okay. We can live through that. Yeah, I work at the Flash Kit's yellow because it's a nice, vibrant, bright yellow. To highlight it one step further... go with bone. So just mix that into the yellow, then get that kind of... This is where the actual light, the glint off a bright wire would be. So paint all the yellow bits first, because it's far easier to paint black over yellow than it is yellow over black. For sure. Once you've got that, you need to keep your line as consistent a width as you can, and you need to keep the gaps in between them consistent. So looking here, this to this is the same distance as this to, well, the bottom of the yellow one. I can't, it's down there. That's the hard part. So that comes down to brush control, that comes down to practice, time spent in the studio, you know, whatever you want to call it. That's the tough part. Once you've got that laid down, though, and I've said that like, you know, that's a simple matter. It may not be. It may be that takes you half of forever. But just sort of do one side of the line and don't try and paint them on the angle. Not a steep angle. Just angle the mini and paint the line straight down if you can. But once you've got them on the model, you just got to give them a highlight. So get some lighter greys out. Either mix up a grey or use a pot of grey paint, whatever's best for you. And that's kind of it. But it's getting the black lines down. That's the tough part. Because if you fuck that up, obviously you've got to paint yellow back over that. And that's a pain. But if you keep your black paint really thin, which is basically what we've done here tonight on this snake. Kept our paint super thin so it's easy to cover up any mistakes that we make with just one thickness of paint going down on top of it. You'll be okay. Even yellow will go over a very, very thin coat of black paint. Don't twist the line, twist the mini. Yeah. Because most people have used pens, pencils, that sort of thing. Drawing a straight line down is a motion that they've practiced a lot. So on the mini, just twist the mini and draw the line straight down. Yeah, so you're still using that same motion, but you're now at an angle to where the line would be, and then you twist the mini again, and you do the same thing, and so on and so on. And that'll help you get a nice straight line, which obviously is relatively key. Alright, going to retouch up this infinity symbol because that looks very pale now in comparison to our snake. And we leave that snake to dry a little. Then we're going to dot the eye. And then we're going to do the cleanup. So I think it looks pretty okay. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're not looking at winning Golden Demon. Not by a long way. But I think for a Samhan symbol, it looks relatively alright. It certainly adds to the model. It doesn't detract from it, I don't think. It's a good thing that it's on there. But it'll look much sharper after we go around the edges and just nip off a few of the little bits where we've fudged the line a little, where it's a little bit fuzzy. We want to get it super, super sharp. Does anybody else kind of get a bit of a vibe of the Prodigy off of that? So that's going to be the new game on stream, is what did that copyright-free music sound like to you? Poor Fish. Yeah, fuck Fish, man. He's going to be sat there looking at this going, I should have picked that fucking Marine. Right. That bit's been reintroduced to some white. Let's start fixing it. So we've got some more of that screamer pink. I'm going to thin that down, not to a glaze. Smash that out. Well, thank you very much, mate. I'm good with it. I'm happy with that. Got the eye left to do, and there's still room for fucking that up. Let's be honest here. But that's alright. So just fixing the inside of that. So we're thinning the line out by painting some of our background colour underneath it. Now that looks relatively uniform across the infinity symbol. Next up, on all of these little, we're calling them wings. I don't know if that's right. Just going to paint a straight line underneath them. And that'll just help tidy those up a little bit. See, that top one now looks pretty bang on a straight line, whereas both that and the bottom one look much more like this middle one a minute ago. The middle one's trickier because it passes over both black and this screamer pink. So we're going to cheat. We're going to do the top one just pink. Now you don't really notice the part of the black that should have interacted with. Then the bottom one will do black. Oh, sorry, I did see you ask that earlier on, JC. Imperial Knights, because of Engine War and Ninth, are going to shoot up in popularity. I've been playing Knights competitively for a year and a half. Not that we've had many tournaments in the last couple of months, but you know, you get my drift. Last year, came out ranked the ITC's best Knight player in the world. Full Clarkson. Loved it. And everyone at the top tables, the events I was going to, where we were still somehow hanging in there as Knights, was very surprised. I don't think we're going to get that same surprised reaction from Knights being on the top tables anymore. I think if there isn't at least one Knight player in, say, the top quarter of every event, then that it didn't turn up or they were shit. Because there's a lot of ways that we interact with the game that a lot of armies don't. And come 9th, there's even more ways that we interact in the game than we didn't a minute before. Fish, I was hoping you wouldn't see this until we finished the freehand, but welcome. Hope you had a good pub quiz. The other thing is today they released the terrain rules for new 40k. And apparently a load of night players have whinged like bitches all over forums about how there is no way you can play a competitive night army anymore in 40k. Those people are fucking idiots. That simple. Yes, that's an extremely inflammatory, sweeping statement. I don't care. They have not thought at all about what the terrain rules actually mean. Yes, I have a knight here, I have a 5-inch tall building here, and I have a guardsman stood behind it. And I can't shoot the guardsman if I can see over the building. I don't care. Because most buildings aren't this fucking long. So I'll go sideways and shoot you. If I'm the other side of the table and your dudes are behind that building, then you can't see through the building at me because you won't be far enough back to see over the building. The angle you'll need to be behind the building to see over it to hit me is going to put you off the fucking table. So I'm safe if you hide all your dudes behind the building going, oh, I'll wait for you to get close and I'll shoot you. Because I'll walk just close enough where you can't see me still, and in the following turn, strafe out, Gatling cannon go duh 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 duh. That's the way it's going to be. And people have got it in their head, they're like, well, I can't do that. This is no good. I could have a Devastator squad on a hill that could see over a building that's 5 inches tall. So I can see your knight because I'm on an elevated position, but you can't see over the building to me on the hill. That's fine. Somebody said, oh, I'll put my Devastator squad there. That's brilliant. Please do so, Chief, because I'll make sure I kill them because they're not in cover. And I'll move around a building, or I'll shoot you with the missile pod on top of my head that doesn't require line of sight. And will be a blast weapon. And because your cherub will count as a model, you'll have 6 models in the unit, and it guarantee minimum 3. Unless it's got the obscure tag, if the building has the obscure tag, it seems to act as if it's not even there to things over 18 wounds. Yeah, whatever. Like, again, I don't give a toss. I am going to get some significant buffs if the one, like, well, you can't see over a wall if it's this tall, is the only downside. This many fucks given. Secondly, almost every tournament that I have been to in the last, probably about the last year, has had scenery that is buildings made out of MDF, and those buildings come in 2 sizes. One is about 9 inches tall, and you can hide a knight of any description behind that. The other one is 3 inches tall. So please explain to me where this rule comes in for all of that terrain. The reason they've chose 5 inches is because the Games Workshop scenery, you can't see the boxes, but the Sector Imperialis stuff is 5 inches tall. But for everybody else's gaming table, it's probably 3 inches tall. Because that's what they had in 7th. It's 3 inches a level. So I'm fine. I don't give a shit. Your skill tag means they can't shoot you, but you can't shoot them unless you move around it, obviously. You just can't hide it all. Doesn't matter, mate. Doesn't matter. I've got movement 12. And I've got a base size that wide. And I've got arms that swing out to the sides if I need to, because they're magnetized. We go this way. Gatling cannon go brrrr. You know. Heavy terrain, that's fine. You get a cover save in combat. That's it. That's all that is. I'm fine with that. It means Imperial Fists in combat are nails, though. The Flamer Gatling strat, if you take a Warden. If you take a Warden, you're not taking 3 Crusaders. If you're not taking 3 Crusaders, you're going to lose. Sorry, man, that's what I got for that. Better get your Slamguinius in. I mean, if he's a fisty Slamguinius, you're all right. Right, now we're going to paint eyes on Lesnak. And this is going to be super irritating. Super irritating. Voodoo Yaz, you need to be here for giveaway day, man. The 30th of the month. It's a Tuesday night. His name is CM Hammer. Chapter Master Hammer. I just run my House Raven Knights across the board and rip you a new one in combat. Yeah. Advance with them so you can get around the building, shoot, full tilt, charge. What they haven't said, alright? Here's the thing, what they haven't said is the table size is 44 inches across instead of the 48 that we're used to. How big's your deployment zone? I'm still betting there's a 24-inch no man's land between the two. But if they decide, no, some people can't deploy big tanks and like your Baneblade's hard to fit on and so on and so forth with that, and leave it as a 12-inch deployment zone, that means I can be 20 inches away from you. Which means that full tilt strat goes from being, I might use it once ever in a blue moon, to, fuck it, yes, let's go. Gallants are on the table, baby. Who knows? There's loads to wait for, so anyone getting their knickers in a twist right now needs to just grab a chill pill. Just remember, the most important phase of the game, the only phase in which you are the only person that has control of what's going on, is the movement phase. Past that, there's dice that need to be rolled for things that really matter. But if you're out of range of the charge you need to make on turn 4, it's not because you couldn't roll a 10. It's because your movement phases in turn 1, 2, and 3 led you to not be able to make that charge. That's why. Get your movement, get your deployment on point. I win more games than I lose. And that is solely because I take my time in my movement phase to plan that turn and the turn after and my opponent's turns. It's not just your toys on the table. It's theirs too. Proper excited. Dude, I'm buzzing my tits off. Dude, I can totally understand that. But here's the thing. You don't have to worry because the only ranged weapon out of both of those two is the lantern. So if they can see you, and with wings that stick out like this, they're going to anyway. Doesn't matter if you can see them. Apart from Smite. And it might very well be that terrain interacts differently in different phases. You need 1 second for whatever that alert is. Brett, you've only just followed? You son of a bitch. Right, there we go. We did Freehand Snake. Woo! I'm alright with this. This has turned out pretty well. Although, I'm just going to tidy up the infinity symbol again, just a little bit more. We did this side. Just want to touch up this side a little bit. So there's a black line part of that. Just going to grab a bit more of that Screamer Pink. Just get the inside, outside of that line now. There we go. Alright, Fish, I'm calling it done. You can paint the guns yourself, alright? Whew. Network error? I'm still streaming. Hit the refresh button if you can see me. So, for those that can see me, that's a Twitch thing. I've just looked at the performance. The only time we've dropped frames was just then. That's it. I'll print you one. Thank you for that sub. Much appreciated, man. Cool. Yeah, like I said, that's a Twitch thing. That's outside my control. We streamed at a constant 30 FPS. We've dropped 1,000 frames, which is just then. So, it's that. Also, Twilight Walker, thank you for the follow and welcome to the stream. Give me them meeps. You've got them meeps, man. As soon as you hit that sub, the bot gives you 3k. Right. Let's paint some work on the guns. Let's do this, and the little bits on the shuriken doodads. So that was a mix of black and not the green paint that isn't green. Sotek green. Whew, definitely need to have more than 4 hours sleep. Gonna need definitely more than that before next weekend. Next weekend. Not this one that's happening this Saturday and this Sunday. The one after. We are painting an entire Nurgle demon army. See these two boxes right here? They are currently full of shot glasses, blue tack, and Nurgle demons. I'm going to paint 1,500 points. 1,608 points. Because I've got more Nurglings to paint as well, so I may as well paint them all at the same time. It won't take long. 1,608 points of Nurgle demons will be painted next weekend. Yellow. An entire Nurgle demon army painted yellow in 2 days. Not only are we painting them yellow, we're going to do undershading of 3 different colours in a similar fashion to how we've done this bad boy. Not only are we going to do that, we're going to base them all in a Nurgle's Garden theme. There will be water effects. There will be scatter material on the bases. There will be preserved plants to make this actually look like a real garden. We're going to do so much work in 2 days. Oh, let me get the Dettol-filled Super Soaker. What the fuck do you want that one for? Like, you're not getting that anywhere near my minis, man. I will break you. Your 3 hours of sleep just practice for the weekend. There's going to be an ungodly amount of caffeine and pizza consumed in that time. Damn! AJS Wargaming coming in with a big old cheer. Thank you very much, dude. Not only, though, am I going to be having loads of fun and delirium, mostly delirium, painting all those Nurgle boys and girls, here is a small sample of the giveaway prizes that I've got for you guys all stream. Here is 5 of 10 of these packs. Let me zoom the camera out so you can actually see what the hell is going to go on. Sarah over at Rival Crafts created for me a couple of weeks ago these basing bundles. It's going to be amazing. I have 5 here. I've only just gone and ordered 5 more, haven't I? So we've got 10 of these to give away. They will be sub only. You will not need meeps for it. Just need to be a sub. And we'll send them to you anywhere in the world. And that's why they need to be sub only. Because we've obviously had to pay for these. We've got to pay for shipping. There you go. In each one of these basing bundles, you get a little pot of glue. In this particular one, as it is the spring one, we've got some dark moss. This is reindeer moss, I think. We've got a little bit of green flock to turn into things like moss and lichen and all that sort of stuff. We've got some amazing Rival Crafts tufts. This stuff, which I've absolutely fallen in love with, Instant Base Scatter Forest Floor. We're using this on the Nurgle dudes. This is going to go fucking everywhere on them. It's going to be sick. We got, in this one, some big old bits of slate. Maybe you want to put a model on a nice rocky base. And then, we've got this. Tiny slate. Smithy says, we better put forward a preference, i.e. winter bases. Yes, you will, sir. Yes, you will. So far, we've got spring, BMM. It's an M. I think it's bundle for Mohawkminiatures. That's the best that I've managed to work out from that. But then we've got the KY Mud Bum. So this is just getting weird now. Now, I've not opened any of these. We left the one open to show you guys what's inside. Everything else... No, it's definitely BMM. Definitely. It's clearly 6mm, you know, but why not, right? We've got Icy Mud, Summer, Autumn, Straw, and I've just ordered a load of the random fantasy-esque ones from the store. Sorry for being dull. Fuck you, fish. How dare you? How dare you? Wavy! What up? So we've got 10 of those to give away. I've got 1 or 2 other prizes to give away. And the main prize over the weekend is going to be an Imperial Fist. Despite the fact we're painting Nurgle Demons all weekend, the main prize will be an Imperial Fist. There's a reason behind the main prize being an Imperial Fist. Because I've just had to order several bits of additional Nurgle stuff, not only will you win this Imperial Fist that's been painted in the same colour scheme that we will be using for our Nurgle Demons, you will win your own Imperial Fist Reaver to paint. So you get a free Reaver and this dude. And one of the smelly plague people. And about 15 quid's worth of Darla Rowney ink. So that you too can paint this paint scheme. I think that is a pretty cool prize. There may also be some basing stuff that just sneaks its way into there. Who knows? Who knows? I fucking know. So that's a big ass prize. Angry for life! Thank you for that follow. What colour would you paint Mephiston's massive collar? Sky blue. Nurgle Demons! To be honest, I'd probably paint it the same way we've painted a lot of the base and stuff on here, that kind of black into turquoisey blue. Especially if you're going with blonde hair, there's a lot of stuff going on there. Though a weekend stream, hour 20. After nursing his wounds after the cat wrestling, Jay has again turned back to painting. Unfortunately, he's been forgetting to put paint in his airbrush, but is still lauding the thinness of his coats and abrasively deriding anyone who points out the lack of paint. Yeah, fuck them. Fuck them. They can't see the paint. It's the Emperor's new paint. All over that. So that's what's going on next weekend. This weekend, I'm finishing these bloody Doomsday arcs, hopefully, and I'm doing all the prep work to this. So that includes a little bit of assembly. That includes quite a lot of pissing around with pumice, undercoating them all black, and getting a zenithal white pre-shade on everything there. That's a lot of work. It's a hell of a lot of work. If you have an airbrush, yes, Crownblade, if you have an airbrush. If you don't have an airbrush, you just need to go and buy one. That's all I've got for you. Is just buy one. Just buy an airbrush. Just get one. Just do it. Any of the Forge World Rights worth buying for the table? Currently, no. Currently, they are distinctly subpar. Alright, look, I'm not going to be big-headed about it, but when it comes to Knights, I know exactly what I'm doing. You need as many Crusaders as you can get in your list, because you need the output. You absolutely need all of the DACA in the world. Yes, it's a very eggs-in-one-basket thing, but that's just the way it is. You also then need things to hold objectives that are further away from your opponents, because those Crusaders need to be both shooting the fuck out of stuff and in combat every turn that they can be. The best things that you have in a Knight's Codex for holding backfield objectives are a Knight Paladin and a Knight Helverin. Both those two and the Crusaders, so the same list I've been playing for over a year now, just took a massive buff in Engine War. An enormous buff. Having the battle cannon just snap out flat 3 damage for 1 CP is incredible. Having Crusaders go, I'll tell you what, no Overwatch from you, is unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. For 1 CP. And it just says, use it after a model has taken damage from a Crusader. Oh, I put the book away. It was right there until about 2 hours ago. It doesn't say immediately after. That'll be FAQ'd, don't get me wrong. It's going to be FAQ'd. You see a massive points increase? I don't think so, mate. I know I'm biased. I'm a Knight player. Right. But I'd be surprised if you can't still run 4 big Knights in 2K. I'd be really surprised. I'm not going to say it won't happen, but I really, really don't think it's going to be as big as people are saying. Mostly because, currently in 8th, Knights are overcosted. And people will complain about that statement. An 80-point Orc War Boss, with the help of a Weird Boy, and I think 2 command points, will kill a Knight in 1 turn. You put Fists of Gork on the War Boss, you walk him across the table, hidden by units of Grots and Boys, so he can't be shot at, can't be targeted, can't be charged. And then he charges the Knight. And before he charges the Knight, he gets given Fists of Gork, he gets something like 8 attacks or something bent. The hit on 2s, wound on 2s, re-rolling hits, re-rolling wounds because of his Warlord trait, and the flat 4 damage at -3. You can't do that. You're right, it's 17% on the Intercessor. How many percent did the Chaos Cultist go up? give you a clue. It's a lot more. If Knight's chassis goes up by more than 30 points, I will be very, very surprised. Too many things in 40k right now. Murder Knights. It was 50%. They went from being... Oh no, they went to 5 points, didn't they, recently? So they started at 4 points, then it became 5 points, and then it became 6 points. So they've gone up 20%. Or were they 4 points? How many points are the Chaos Cultists right now? Because I thought it was 4 when I said that. And they went up to 6. But increased granularity in the game, which is what you're getting from those points increases, is something that's been needed for a while. And they alluded to this on stream. They're like, well, you know, we've got a load of units that are really, really small points that are balanced around... Well, if it's 3 points, then it's the same points as a grot, and it's better than a grot, so it must be 4 points. But if it's 5 points, it's the same points as this. It's not as good as that, so it must be 4 points. They are 4 points. Yeah, there you go. Morty being 600 points? No. Why would he go up 140 points or 130 points? There's no need. If you want to talk about things that need points increases, let's talk about Disco Lords. Let's talk about Space Marine Captains. 77 points and 3 command points for... Tell you what, lads, reroll all those hits. That's, sorry? Bit tough, that, isn't it? Let's talk about the auto take against any army. Souped up shocker. On a very, very cheap platform. No. I said 77 points and 3 command points for Chapter Master, which means it's reroll failed hits. It's not. It's even like before modifiers, not after modifiers as well. So that they're horrendously powerful. That strat is something that should have been taken out of the codex. And certainly that strat should only be allowed to be used by somebody that has an army that doesn't have a Chapter Master model. Do you know when the release of 9th is? So the models are being shown off this weekend. That's Saturday the 13th. And I'm buzzing for it. And remember, guys, as soon as we know what's on there... so for Sunday's stream, we're going to start off that set of straw polls, so you guys can choose which mini we're going to paint from each faction to give away, along with the rest of the faction. But if it's being previewed with the minis and opening of the box this weekend, I'm assuming the pre-order is next weekend, which is the 20th. I'm guessing it's a 2-week pre-order. So that puts you at the 4th of July. Saturday. It's a massive national holiday in the US. I could see it being the case. Could equally be August, before it comes out, mind. No one has a release date. We've got the new Themajig book, Psychic Awakening book, coming out real soon. That goes up for pre-order this weekend, I want to say. The Spider War of Spider. Engine War came out last weekend. So, you know. Des, you heard end of July. To be honest, mate, no one has an answer and everyone is guessing. My guess, if we were going to take like a sweepstakes of pick a day that 9th will land, that would be my day, is the 4th of July. But yeah, they're leaving sort of 2 weeks between each Psychic Awakening book being pre-ordered right now. So Pariah could still drop on the same day that 40k is released. Could drop just the week before. They might leave it a week between the pre-orders. Who knows? It's what it is, right? It doesn't even need to drop before 9th drops. That's the crazy thing. Everyone's made this massive assumption that you must get all 9 out and then 9th. Nah. But no one's got a rationale for that. They've said on stream, you know, all of the rules have been written for Psychic Awakening to work alongside new 40k. Because we don't want your rules to be invalidated. Anyone remember Traitor Legions? Just throwing that one out there quick. Could still come out after 9th. Doesn't need to be an 8th at all. All I'm doing here, by the way, we've done a quick edge highlight and then just taking a little water, thinning that highlight paint down, and just glazing in a little of that. We've done it on this side as well. It's not super apparent, but you can just see there's a little darkness here, a little light here. We're not going to put a wash over this to shade it, so we're using the glaze to make our shade already down on the model. Yeah, it's really the plan beforehand, mate. That was definitely the plan beforehand, I'd say. But, you know. Well, I've got a wet blending. That's a glaze. It's not a wet blend. We did wet blending earlier on. Stick with the times, Macy. Craziness. Yeah, I've got a table upstairs. I'm really looking forward to 9th coming out, and my housemate's still not wanting to play my knights. I've never seen anyone so despondent as Ben when the last time we played with my knights, he'd beaten me the week before, and it was just before a tournament, and I was on tilt a little bit. I was like, all right, cool, this is my tournament list, and I've just absolutely got stomped on. I need to find a way to make this work. Banky boy, thank you for that follow and welcome. So I asked him for another game that week. He's like, yeah, sure, man, no problem. Thinking, oh, I've got this in the bag. This will be all right. I changed my list. I went from running all melee knights to running shooty knights. And he took the Crusaders. And my God. Captain One Ball, that's a cool name. Thank you for the follow and welcome. I tabled his Nurgle Demon army, which is back then like the full-on Nurgle Demon tournament army where you took 90 Plague Bearers and all the other bollocks that went alongside it, right? And it was nearly unkillable. I tabled it in 2 turns. And he just sat there on the sofa. Like, I don't even know what I could have done differently. Just... He's never played my knights since then. So... Right, let's get a quick highlight in down these. So we're going to be going into the whip soon. I did see somebody asking if we'd done it already. We always do the whip at the end of the stream. The only times it's different are when we do like the weekend long streams where we tend to do a whip while I can have something like lunch, dinner, or have a bit of a break for 10 minutes. This weekend we may not even have time for that. Sorry, not this weekend. Next weekend we may not even have time for that. There's a lot of demons to paint. It's going to be fun though. I've even bought like accessories to make my life easier and quicker on that stream. Repulsor Executioner has been ordered. Nice. Because we'll be using the UV resin on the bases to get water effects down, I bought one of these like nail lamps with 1 billion LEDs underneath. So these apparently are in nail salons and women bake their hands and suntan their fingers or whatever underneath them. I'm going to put this on something slightly taller with a tinfoil shelf underneath it, off to one side. Batch up the water effects and a load of Nurgle dudes. Chuck them all in there. Bake them while I do the next lot. And it's going to be a lot of fucking movement to get things all sped through. Just for the amount of organisation we're going to need to exhibit on minimal sleep on that weekend, it's going to be worth tuning in. Let alone the giveaways. You know, that's great, that's fun, that's wonderful. But that's going to be the funny bit. Right, it's glazing a little bit around the top as well. And it's just the same highlight colour that we've used literally just now, but thinned right down. And it just gives enough of a sort of hue that it helps blend that all together. It's not wet blending, it's just glazing. That's it. Anyone can do this. Thin your paint to the point it's dirty paint water, slap it on, sorted. Tell you what, let's just work on this. We've got about 8 minutes before we go into the whip gallery. So, !Discord, if you've got some work that you'd like to show off, go and upload some pictures to the whip channel there. Let's see what you guys have been working on. Could be something you just finished. Could be something you just started. Could be something you're halfway through and you maybe just want a little bit of comment and critique. No problem. I promise I won't be mean to you. I'm only mean to Rocky, and that's because he literally asks for it. The man's got troubles. Senpai J, please abuse me. This is not a good start. Last time it got a little bit Gordon Ramsay. Like, it was felt a little bit harsh last time. Not gonna lie. Right, what we've done now is we mixed a little bit of the emerald that we were using from Vallejo model color in with that Sotek green, which is still definitely blue. I don't care what they say. We start with a glaze step, just to feather some of that in around these edges. So again, it's just paint this thin down with a shed load of water. Like so. It's a bit of a rough edge. So, I'm just going to take a damp brush and smudge those out a little bit. So now this is wet blending. Also, it's a different style of wet blending. Sometimes called two-brush blending, because normally you do it with a wet brush you use to apply paint, a dry brush you use to apply, and just a wet brush you use to apply just water. But we just rescued the blend. That's all. Is it a stable diet of pizza and whiskey too, bud? It's apple juice, I think you'll find. But cheers, everybody. That's some apple juice has been matured in oak barrels. Just a single oak barrel. And it's been imported from Tennessee. Helvin is done. Got the urge to do another Crusader. I wonder why. Because they're fucking great. That Crusader is basically like Arnie. It does all the heavy lifting. Too many sprues. What up, brother? How you doing? It's good apple juice, yeah. Yeah, hints of wood and a sharp sort of sour tang. This isn't the best apple juice I've ever had, that's for damn sure, though. But it was on sale. Good value apple juice at a tenner off. So again, just a little bit of a blend, just a glaze. Just because for some reason I feel like doing a lot of extra work to this bloody toy soldier that I'm giving away to fish. I want you to secretly know, Fish, that I actually don't like you. And that's the only reason I'm doing this, is because when you put it next to your Samhan, you're going to cry a little bit at the amount of freehand and extra work you have to do. Fuck you, buddy. Fuck you very much. Right, we got this little wart on his gun, because Eldar have got warts, allegedly. Let's get some regular old edge highlights going on. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to really pastel this out by adding some white to it. Which is normally not what I'd do. I'd normally try and leave it as vibrant as possible. But I think it'll look quite cool, just having some very, very small, almost specular highlights that are very bright and very pastel. So as soon as we've done the rest of these regular edges, that's the next step. Since I'm always driving, I drink more apple juice than cider. Yep, fair enough. Just pondering having a go at a copy of this for the Wraith Knight. You should, man. Give it a shot. Like the red, I knew how to paint that. I've painted red like that quite a few times. It's a fun way of painting red, especially for stream as well, because people are starting to looking at you like, so I'm painting this red. I'm like, this guy's fucking nuts. But I feel that we've got enough old schoolers around that people can calm the herd a little bit. Like, no, trust me, Jay knows what he's doing. It's all right. It's fucking weird, but he knows what he's doing. Been here 5 minutes. I'm already learning shit. Awesome. Macy, YouTube, baby. Because we've had to use non-copyrighted music, we may as well host everything on YouTube after we've recorded it on the stream. So everything now is going up to YouTube afterwards. So if you guys don't mind, if you don't already, !YouTube, head on over there, give it a quick sub. You'll be able to then have access to like an archive of everything that we stream. So if there's something that you've wanted to learn, then obviously that'll be up there. It means that if we've got something that comes in a few months down the line, or maybe it's something that you want to revisit, you'll have the ability to go back and look at a show from 2, 3, 6, a year ago, whatever. And see what's going on. Demon Badger! Thank you very much for that follow. Awesome, Macy. That's not sad news. Toonie Sprue says, yeah, I've been good. Got a premonition. Got a premonition? Promotion? Or did you see this happening and then it happened? Were you slightly clairvoyant about your promotion? Because that's just being big-headed and arrogant, man. God damn you. However, dude, congrats. Head bike mechanic mean everyone comes to you. Awesome. And also, Captain Womble, thank you very much, man. We try and keep everything here as educational as possible. I've been painting minis for around 20 odd years, and I've learned a lot of lessons along the way, mostly through fucking things up. And whilst I still think that's one of the best ways to learn is just by getting shit wrong again and again and again until you get it right, if I can save you guys some of the time, heartache and trouble that has caused, then that's what we do here. I thought it was Captain Womble. Ah, okay. Just coming back from a 10-year break. We've all been there, man. So I've had 2 breaks of between 5 and 7 years. But now we're pretty much locked in for life. With the streaming, with the commission painting, with the tournament scene, all of that, I'm sold. I'm done. This is totally me. Yeah, little highlights on the end of his gun barrel, because why not? Like I said, we're keeping this nice and bright and pastel, just to really emphasize the end of the gun. Obviously, when we get to doing this on the missile launcher, which will be next stream now. Next stream to finish this guy, I think. I think we're very nearly done. This is our 5th stream, and we normally try and do just 3, but this is a beast of a model. We've showcased some new techniques where, well, I think not necessarily new techniques, but things that we haven't done on stream for a while, where we did the red as a green undercoat and then built up red. We've done glazing, we've done wet blending, we've done freehand coming out the wazoo on this dude. We did a long tutorial on lenses last stream. We've done a lot of talking about keeping a restricted color palette on a Mini. So every single part of the Mini, apart from the red and the sash, has the same color progression as this on. So the helmet, that green, is the outside highlight on this. This is this. The gems are this. Everything traces back to either being this color, being red, or being white. That's basically it. So a lot of thought's gone into this model from a painting standpoint. From a compositional standpoint, we've put the missile launcher behind the head there to give you the model a frame, essentially, as well. Like when he stood like that, I want people looking at the Mini and seeing the missile launcher as a frame behind him. We've even done things with the gems where we've had them moving around the body in a constantly upward pattern. So around the one leg, up to the thigh here, across the chest, onto the shoulder, and then up some of those fins to guide the viewer in their journey of exploring this model. I really, really like this cloak. That fucking purple recess into yellow highlights. It looks like some sweets. It looks like the sort of refresher sweets or something that you used to eat as a kid. But loving it. Loving it. So that was tonight. Remember, we haven't talked about this at all. At the end of the month, on the last day of the month, which is the 30th, it's a Tuesday night, we have our normal giveaways. We have a £50 giveaway voucher to any hobby retailer of your choice. We also have a Mini that we give away. Exclamation point mystery in the chat for some details on that. The first of 3 Minis has been revealed. It is the Wolf Lord, Ragnar Blackmane himself. This guy is a weapon. It's a fucking beautiful sculpt as well. It really, really is. So much motion. This guy, epic. So you could choose this to be painted for you and shipped to you anywhere in the world completely free of charge. You can choose a custom color scheme. Don't get me wrong. I'd rather it was grey because, you know. Durfy. Maybe Durfy. Or Durf13. One of those, thank you for the follow and welcome to the stream. So that's the first one. On Sunday night, which is the next stream, we will announce the second Mini. Currently, both the second and third mystery Minis are up here. They're both there. I don't want to turn around. Are they both on plain view? Yes, they're both in plain view. They're both in plain view and they're both around this area. So there's some clues as to what you could get if you can see that far into the stream. For now though, let's head over to the whip. Exclamation point Discord, get yourself a link. Head on over here and go to the work in progress section. This is it. So Sin Stars, this is Archon Castles painting his Drukari. This is one of the best looking models in their range, mate. I love their planes. So sick. It's not the best model, which is the Void Raven Bomber, but what was the first one? The first one was Ragnar Blackmane, dude. The newly released Primarch's Wolf Lord himself. He's a beast. in a literal sense. Hoping somebody picks that. Brett, I'm loving it, man. Did you airbrush this? Now you've had your new spangly airbrush. Is he even still there? Might not be. Yes. Dark Elder plates look much better than the Eldari counterparts. You are. With the old one. Nice. Why haven't you airbrushed the carapace? Not the carapace, sorry. The canopy is what I meant to say. Get some practice with your brand new Iowata. Once you've got that a little bit like lasered in and you understand how to use it and use it accurately, I want you to paint some nice effects on that canopy. We did it on the Eldar Spirit Seer. We just got a little bit of just a spritz of stuff. You like the flat gloss? Okay, that's fair enough then. But goddamn, man, like doing that in some electric purples and pinks would be super sweet. I love the yellow on the wings. I like how you've left it one colour. A lot of people go two-tone and put like bone and metal and stuff on the razor part of the razor wing. I like it simple like you've done it here, man. Keeps it classy. Good job. Good job. Right, Lord Wedge. Damn, here we go. Here we go. We saw some of these before. We saw the Primaris dudes, the Hellblasters. I think we saw the... Yeah, I remember the purple on the Dreadnought's rotator gun. Lovely looking army though, man. The dank angles right again. All the plasma, all the knights. Those Deathwing Knights are sick as well. Very cool, mate. Very, very cool. I've got no critique to give you there, mate. It all looks good. Balefire Forge skipped ahead. Still need to paint the other side, but it was too much fun not to, so it sees you now. Nice. So we looked at this in detail last time, just looking at the metal. That's quality, mate. Lovely little detail. You've even got a nice gloss effect on there from that white specular highlight. It is, of course, quite blatantly Sauron's eye. Wait, no, the Eye of Horus. Wait, probably just an eye. The Eye of Greenness. That's what we're going. Epic work, as always, my dude. Loving it. Fucking loving it. And that metallics. Epic. There it is again. Yes, we're going quite quickly through the whip, but you can see I'm nearly asleep. Like, these are dead. Voodoo Yaz. Most of the parts have arrived for my brother Lever's tribute, so painting has commenced. He will be a dangle still. I'll be used in an army just for fun. Nice. Nice. You managed to get double power fists. That's cool. You still need a shitty beaky helmet, though. Because he's got a beaky helmet with a busted nose. So, you still need the beaky. But that's a hell of a base upgrade. The base upgrade's nearly as tall as the old Marine. People thought Primaris were already big. You know, who knows, right? I like this, though. Very cool, man. I'm assuming it's meant to be water, right? Because there's a lot of black showing through if it's meant to be water. Water's really, 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 really tough to paint. Which is why most people cheat and use water effects. Let's say it was deep water. You'd have to... God, would you have the brightest parts? I wouldn't even know where to start to paint it, to be honest, mate. You probably need the brightest parts being the bits that just surround the base. So where those pipes hit the ground, that would be where the water would have to be. I mean, would it be green? Would it? You go out to like the Caribbean and stuff like that, you've got blue seas, not green seas. Go to Cornwall, you've got brown seas. Nearly. It's close in places. I'd go with blue though. It helps contrast against the base. It could be an alien world as well, so who knows? Yeah, foaming around the pipes, that'd be good. You could do it with... oh, shit! Vallejo do something. I've never used it. Oh, fuck. It's called something gel. Nah, sorry, Chief. It's gone. But they do this gel that you basically sort of paste on and you can manipulate it. It's a little bit... You kind of use it the same way you use the pumice, but it's to make water. AK have got terrain shit coming out the wazoo. They do everything. Not the still water, because the still water is a liquid product. But the gel, I think it's just called heavy gel. It's for sculpting waves. And you can use that to get that coming up the sides of the pipes that you've got there. That's why I suggested that one. Always MP, thank you for that follow. Welcome to the stream. The still water, I've got some. The water effects that I use most frequently is resin that dries under UV though. And you could use that to pad up the rest of the base. You would just need to have a little mold for it to sit in for you to use that bit with. No manipulate the water. No manipulate radiator is set every day. If it's set every day, it's manipulated every day. Only the old schoolers are going to get that. What was that pumice, by the way? I want to get a tub. Yes, you want to get a tub. Vallejo Dark Earth pumice. That's the one I use. I've got 2 of theirs. I think that's the best. I've got an AK one, which I don't think is quite as good. It's a bit wetter, and I like having the texture. So therefore, I go with that. This is sick. Hazard stripes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I have no idea what this base is from, though. Is this a scratch-built one? Is it? I know I'm tired, but... Don't know. Tell me it's scratch-built, I'd believe you right now. It is. Good stuff. Thank Christ for that. Dramatic and Dead keeping that gift sub going as well. Thank you very much, Chief. Does look good, mate. I love the hazards. I love hazards in general. Nice bit of weathering. What you could do is some more scuff marks on the point of the step. Because that's the bit that's going to get the most wear and tear. So maybe some little bits of silver where boot prints and stuff are sort of scuffed right through. Lots of polyfiller, I can imagine, dude. You've kept it properly flat, though, as well. So, you know, well done. Lord Wedge, the feedback was, they're looking great, dude. I got no constructive criticism for you. They're looking spot on. Keep it going. Nice work, Greg. Well done, champ. Macy, you worked a bit more on the Warrior. Got him a nice and easy semi-gloss. It's like a satin. We'll go to downshade and upshade / edge highlight. So it's a very shiny red from there at the moment. Obviously, you've just said you've got more work to do on the red, so you know we know what's going on. However, I want to show off something that I did see earlier on I think your Instagram. Or was it in the whip earlier? Could have been in the whip earlier. This is cool. I like the cape. Nice set of colours. You've given it a very realistic finish to it as well. It's good. The leather, spot on. Yeah, there you go, Wedge. You can go to YouTube, watch this back tomorrow, hopefully. Go right the way through to about 2.5 hours into the video, and you can see your feedback. There you are. Everyone else, please subscribe. Nightkiller620, are you in the stream? Because this is the dude, or one of the dudes who's been messaging me pictures of logos. Because I put an ad up on Fiverr, but I don't want a logo, and I said that in the thing. So if you're there, please, your logos look brilliant, but it's not what I'm after. Right, Rezo. I love this Minotaur, man. It's such a great job you've done here. The eyes are fucking weird, mind. Those green eyes. You've done a good job of them. But they look really alien. It's like, you know when you shine a torch on a dog's face at night or something, the eye's just like, wah, over. It looks like that. It's very, very cool. The skin tones are epic. The base is something else, man. That's... it's good. I've only got one bit of critical feedback, and this won't come as any surprise to anyone in the stream because they know it's not my bag. And this is mostly because of my own personal preference. I don't like blood on weapons. That being said, the weapon that he's got in his right arm, so the one's on the right of the screen. Sorry, his left arm. This is left. I'm dyslexic, give me a break. But that one looks great. The other one, I don't like as much. I think it's just a little bit too much of the bright red. Blood looks mint on the right side. Yes, the right side is you're looking. Yes. That one. What Fish said. I just paint things. I mean, come on. I look ridiculous. You know, I'm clearly not the smartest man in the room. Great job, mate. Absolutely smashed it. Well done. Crazy Act. Getting the weathering going on a big old repulsor and some Imperial Fists. Needs to wipe its bum a bit more, mate, is all I've got on this. You know, it's a little bit stained at the back. Got some clingers. This is the washing process that he goes through. I love the effect it's got on the door. I'm less keen on the effect it's got on that lip at the bottom where it's just drained down. Hopefully there's still an option to clean that, perhaps. I don't know if that's the case. Yeah, mate, it's seen some shit. But tush. Side view. Looks awesome, man. Looks very, very cool. Very, very cool. Your throughput is insane. You paint so much. I love it. Like, this army was black primer, what, 2 weeks ago? Maybe 3? Now he's got a fully painted Imperial Fist Marine army. I don't know. Doing work, man. You're doing work. 2.5. There you go. Cracking it out, mate. And that's not a reference to the box of tissues by your bed either. I know, but I was waiting. I wanted to see how many people in the chat jumped on that one. I had to, mate. I had to. Good work, though, Chief. Good work. Alright, Crown Blade. More terrain and warband. Nice, dude. We saw some of the walls for this before. I like the brickwork. It's good. It's simple. It's effective. It's exactly what you want for a piece of terrain. I'm not overly sold on the flames. I'd like to see a bit more contrast. But you've gone for a very ethereal kind of flame, which is very difficult to get a Oh god. Brilliant. I'm not repeating that on stream. It's very difficult to get a reference picture for something like this. I think you could do with just a little bit more darker blue or a little bit more white in places. Just because it's very one colour. There is obviously a highlight there. I can see it. I just like a bit more out of that. Oh, this is nice though. I love the roses. I love how you kept them all with that bluer rose. I think that's brilliant. And then we've got some Empire dudes, I guess, of some description, with what's definitely a Space Marine transfer on. Blatantly a Space Marine transfer on. It works though, mate. Only bit of feedback I give here is for that transfer, I would just get the red that you've used on the shield and just draw a couple of lines just through it like it's been hit by a sword once or twice. Just because it looks incredibly new and very bold and very bright in comparison to everything else, which looks a little bit worn. You've got obviously like your padded jackets and leather boots and stuff like that. That bright white symbol just looks a little bit out of place. So a little bit of weathering perhaps goes a long way. Shade you could do, yeah, definitely. You could put a couple of like darker spots on it. You could just put more of the base coat coming through, that kind of thing. But for just a quick fix, just very, very thin, just a quick few like sword slashes through it, sorted. You'd be surprised at how much that will bring it back into the model rather than being, so it's placed on it, but something that's part of it. Demon Badger, finished my first reboot marine yesterday. First time with a model with this much gold. Not sure if I like how the gold turned out, but I can't put my finger on why. No, gold's okay, dude. What you could do... Okay, so this is a little bit like the flames that we just saw. There's a little bit of one colour going on here. What Fish has said is correct, but I'm going to change it a little bit. S4 UK. I can't work out if it's elite speak for something, but thank you very much for the follow and welcome to the stream. Fish has said add some silver in select places. What I do is this. So most of my gold I paint using this. I need the other camera on. This is Dwarf Gold from Scale Colour. It's a beautiful, beautiful gold colour. It's fantastic. Now, what Fish has suggested is that you grab some silver and highlight it, and that's totally fine. And I've seen a lot of painters do exactly that thing. Games Workshop do it a lot. They just grab some gold because when they give you a painting guide for something, they give you, I use this paint for this coat, and I use this new paint for this next coat, and this new paint again for this next coat. That's their heavy metal painting system. It works for them. It's also a marketing tool. Just remember that. Instead of doing this and just taking that and highlighting it with that, I make a mix of the two, because you're then highlighting it with a brighter version of the same colour. So I put some of this on my palette, and I add silver until the point where it looks more silver than gold. At that point I stop, add another little bit of gold in to just bring it just the other side of that line to still be in gold. And because I use it a lot, I've made up a bottle of it. So if you use a lot of one mix, if you're doing a large army, and you know, right, this is how I'm going to do that highlight every time, buy yourself some empty dropper bottles. Make your mix in there. You've always got it to hand. So for the gold that you've got on this dude, if we flick back over, if you look at the shoulder pad that's right in front of the gun barrel, so that's the model's left shoulder, the right of the pick, on the one facing us. You've got those stripes. that come out, those diagonal stripes, and there's very little there that differentiates one stripe from the next. Sorry, one sec. Yes, we're still alive. And that's going to be the thing that's making you think, I'm not sure about this. You've given it a nice metallic colour. You've given it a decent wash by the looks of it as well. You've got those recesses lined in really, really well. You can see the differentiation between the highs and the lows. What we need now is something to take the highs one step higher. And don't highlight the entire thing. So on those diagonal lines, as they approach that kind of rounded section of the shoulder pad, just do the bits closest to there. Don't do the whole line, because then it's too much. But just those little tags in there, that will start to bring it out. Then apply the same logic to the rest of the model. So find on the gun, he's got that flame that comes up before the barrel, the muzzle. Just a little bit on there. Same on the back of the gun. On his helmet, the little sort of curly Q horns that come in, just hit the horns. Just hit the side to the skull. So on and so on and so on. That's what I would do. Magmaron, thank you for the follow and welcome to the stream. And to YouTube now. As long as this works. You haven't tried this yet. It could go horribly wrong. So that's my suggestion. I've painted a lot of gold recently. We've painted about 3,500 points of custodes. And that's my method of painting gold. I think it works really, really well. Give it a shot. Let me know what you think. Moving on. Sith. Oh, look at that axe. Fucking look at that axe. I want to get one of these things. That's a quality axe. So, feedback. You've obviously blasted it with the airbrush after putting down those runic symbols. They kind of look a bit faded because of that. Hey man, no problem. Anytime. Always put your work in the whip, even if it's not like on stream, because there's going to be somebody there that can maybe answer your questions. We've got a lot of fairly talented painters here. It's a really, really good community we've got on the Discord as well. I'm not loving some of the blue that's creeping on to the axe, but I'm guessing still work in progress. I do like the work you've done on the armour though. Like overall, your painting on this guy is pretty spot on. My only complaint is the runes look a little washed out. I don't know if you've got room to do it on this model, but when I do OSL, I like to try and get a shade in there, so you've got areas that the light could hit and areas that the light couldn't hit. And it just helps to sharpen everything up. I don't know if you'd be able to do it with these runes, but maybe trying to get a very thin outline on the rune itself of a slightly darker colour, maybe a little bit of blue, that sort of thing. The runes you did on that 10-on base, well, cheers man. They were basically done like that. You put down your highlights, you build that up, and then you go back a step, you bring the shadows in. That helps bring everything together. But overall, dude, I fucking love this. Genuinely love it. It's a 3D print that Sith has done. Is that a predator face? Am I just super tired? No. But it did look like one for a second there, so. Not got to that bit yet. Awesome. Keep going then, man. You know what you're doing. You're doing a good job of it as well. If I wanted to buy one of these, how much are we talking? Because I don't have time to sort of do a swapsy trade for commission stuff, but if I want to just flat out give you money for one of these, how much? Unpainted, obviously. I want to do the fun part. I'll let you do all the 3D printing stuff. Alright, Rev. Oh, damn, man. The next 5 started. 40 quid. If I hadn't just spent 100 quid last night on Noble Demons, I'd literally throw you money now. As it is, I definitely would be interested in a couple of weeks. Plus postage, that's fine. Yeah, we'll talk off stream for definite. We will definitely fucking talk. But one of the pox with that hand. Yeah, just needed the arm like over here as well. How much would that be in dollars? If it's US dollar, that's something like not quite $50. You're at like 1.16 or something to the pound, I guess. Maybe 1.2. Love them, mate. Absolutely love them. I'm glad you're batch painting them in 5s now, because before it was like 1 at a time. Now you've started to jump out a little bit. Let's get 5 done. You get in there. Right, Danny, here we go. Mephiston. This is such a cool model. I see you've gone for the plasma pistol rather than the... Ooh, face. Make it fast. Absolutely, mate. Batch painting is the way. Batch painting Doomsday Arcs is something that I'd rather never do again. In fact, I'd rather introduce my penis to a cheese grater than do that again. But, oi. I like the red, man. You got some decent contrast in there. The shadows are nice and dark for it. You could maybe work the highlights up a little bit more. So earlier on tonight, we started just introducing some yellow into a red to get a nice orange to finish off like a crease, essentially, which I think would work quite well. Because Blood Angels usually aren't red; they're normally ever so slightly orange. Dude, at that point, stick it to a belt sander. You know, I'd rather do that than paint 3 Doomsday Arcs in one go again. But I like what you've done. I love the wings on the shoulder. Really clean, lovely white. Epic work. There we go. Another shot of those. Very, very nice, man. Very nice. Right, Lord Wedge coming back in again for the last one. He painted a long time ago, posted because Mohawk said he doesn't like blood on weapons. So here's the reason I don't like blood on weapons, alright? Smithy, peace out, brother. We'll see you soon, yeah? I've seen blood on weapons. Some of it's been my own. It doesn't look like that. I like the splatter you've done on his armor, bizarrely, which is another thing I generally am not overly keen on. Because that's very fine, it does look relatively close to the truth. Especially because, as well, he's swimming a great big fucking mallet about in one hand, right? But for blood to turn purple, which is what you've got there on the blade, it's got to be really, really, really old. And if it's really, really, really old, it's also gone through the period of time where it's gone sticky. So why isn't there like bits of hair and viscera attached to that as well? And then you get into this massive debate about, well, it doesn't look right because you haven't done this, you haven't done that. I just, no. Blood and Weapon is actually a bit minimal and low key. Yeah. Yeah. There's normally, because metal is very low friction, especially for a knife, which is meant to go like in and out. It's normally not much on it because it slid off. It's on the floor in front of you. You're wishing it wasn't. That's kind of it. But that's a different rant for a different day because I am tired as fuck and it's nearly midnight. So, thank you for joining in tonight. We did some glazing, we did some wet blending, we did some freehand, and we painted a snake. Then, because we had a spare 2 minutes, we painted this bit. That was that. I really enjoyed tonight's stream, though. I hope you guys haven't found the music too boring. I know it's Not what we would normally listen to. But hey, mate, you're good, dude. There's no annoyance whatsoever. Honestly, mate, keep going. So, again, hope you enjoyed tonight. Hope it wasn't terrible. I kind of genuinely liked some of the tunes that we've listened to. Like, the guy that's composed some of these is actually pretty talented. So, fucking fair play to him. We're next going to be on air on Sunday night, live at 9 o'clock. We will be revealing the second of our 3 minis in this month's giveaway. Fish, we're already fucking nearly 2 weeks into the stream and we haven't finished the bloody giveaway model from last stream yet. This is totally your fault. Totally your fault. We're going to finish this guy off. Once he's done, we're going to finish this guy off. Our Imperial Fish Marine. He's going to be given away, not this weekend, but the one after. When we paint that entire Nurgle Demon army in one weekend, yellow. Oh yeah. It's going to happen. Baz the Brit, thanks for the follow. Let's go find someone to raid. Let's see who's still streaming. Let's see. Edie Minis, but we raid her almost every week. She is fucking cool, but do it a lot. What's this guy doing? Is this a sculpting guy? Oh, he's just whipping it out at the end of the show by the looks of it. Oh, wait, no. No, this guy's legit. This guy paints real fucking well. Everyone, when we get here, give this guy a follow, because I'm telling you now, you're going to want to. But only to watch when I'm not on air, right? I mean, you know. Trust. It's a guy called Cutthroat Cure. He's painting Thor as part of the Marvel Crisis Protocol game. And it's going to look sick. Thanks again to you all. Peace out, everyone. See you Sunday, live at 9. Have a good one.
I don't know what this is. Sounds like a salt, like a cheese grater. Not happening. Mohawkminiatures, welcome to the pain train. Let's throw it up. We are basing, we are building, we are painting, we're dancing. I've been dancing. So for everybody who is just joining me, I'm Cutthroat Cure, and we are currently painting Marvel Crisis Protocol for June. We have finished quite a few models. I like to build custom bases for them on top of their already fantastic bases. And today I'm actually building them. These are the ones that we have been painting this week. So this is my Red Skull. This is my Thor. As you can see, he's flying. Oh, God! Fish One, thank you so much for the follow. How was your stream, Mohawk? Yeah, I'm digging it. And for anybody who wasn't here last week or who is new, Blood Wings Design, thank you for the follow. Here is my Baron Zemo. Dramatic Undead 212, thank you for the follow. Look at that, Baron Zemo. Helmet Zemo. Helmet Zemo. Everybody, you've got access to it. Throw it up for the raids. Voodoo Yaz and Red QQ, thank you guys for the follow. As I said, we are just knocking out some tones on these guys. A little bit of this, but I think I actually want to go a little bit lighter with this olive drab. The stream was good, man. Did some freehand for a 40k minute, but did it on 4 hours sleep. Well, hopefully you catch up on that sleep and you feel better. I have been there, done that, so definitely feel you there, man. Yeah, we have got, I am trying to get as many of these guys done this month as possible because, as I said, I want to be ready and prepared. As soon as they end this quarantine, I want to be out there in the streets throwing trash cans and Streetlights manifestos. Look at all them raids. Love it. Man, big shout out to Ren. She's not here right now, but I hope she gets a ringing in her ears because the freaking work that she did on my emotes is absolutely perfection.